know about you, but I have a few philosophies as a parent. I believe that I'm supposed to love my children unconditionally. I believe that I'm supposed to teach them how to be kind, how to be good citizens of the world, how to be good givers. I believe that it's important to teach them to work hard, but I also believe that a primary responsibility for me is to teach my children how to deal with disappointment. This means that I subscribe to the theory that not every child should get a trophy. There are going to be winners and there are going to be losers. When my children play on an athletic field, they're not going to win every time, and that is okay, because as they get older, they're not going to get every job. I am reading on the Stir, and I am reading in the New York Post, that there are some New York prep schools that have instituted, New York prep high schools, that have instituted policies forbidding some of their high school students from announcing what colleges they're getting into because they don't want to hurt the feelings of the kids who didn't get into those same schools. Seriously? Seriously? When I was in high school, that was one of the greatest joys. That's what you're working for. Also, one of the greatest disappointments. Let me tell you, I didn't get into my number one school. I got into all but one of the schools that I applied to, but my number one, I didn't get into. I had to deal with that disappointment. My number two school, Santa Clara University in California, I got in early admission. My family needed financial aid. We waited and waited and waited for the financial aid information. When spring rolled around and we hadn't received that information, my dad called the school and said, "We haven't received your financial aid information." And the response was, "Well, we're sorry, Mr. Elliott," my maiden name, Elliott. "We're sorry, Mr. Elliott, but your daughter hasn't been admitted yet." And he said, "I'm holding the admission form in my hand." And they said, "We're confused. We'll call you back." When they called back, their answer was, "We're so sorry, Mr. Elliott. Your daughter has in fact been admitted, but we made a mistake. Your daughter's name, along with a dozen other students and 24 law students, their names were not transferred from the admissions office to the financial aid office, and we are so sorry, we are now out of financial aid." I needed financial aid to go to college. Do you know what that meant? That meant I couldn't go to my number two university. This was the school I was planning to go to. That, my friends, is called disappointment. I cried for days, and I had to find another school. But did that mean that all of my friends who were so excited about going to Santa Clara weren't able to celebrate, that they were supposed to stop wearing the shirts, that had we had Facebook at the time, that they shouldn't have been allowed to celebrate and they shouldn't have been allowed to be excited about it? Absolutely not. That was my parents' job to counsel me through that. It was our college counselor's job to help me find an alternative. It is unbelievable to me that this is the coddling that some of these schools and some of these parents are doing, that this is how we're setting our kids up. Some of those kids who are being coddled right now, they're not going to get some of the jobs they want. Some of these things are going to happen in life. We aren't always going to get the jobs and the careers and the loves of our lives. We are going to face disappointment, and we are setting our children up for failure. Can you imagine an 18-year-old, a 20-year-old, a 35-year-old who has never dealt with massive disappointment? That is a failure in our school system. That is a failure in parenting. We can't do that. That's terrible.